Good morning, y'all. I just untangled all of the roots of my corn very gently, and I'm going to go ahead and get it transplanted. I did prep the containers that they're going in yesterday. It was a pretty productive day out in the garden. Spent a couple hours out there, about an hour or so in the morning, a couple hours in the afternoon, just to get these things all ready and change a couple other things around to make some space for them. And since I had to seed the corn in my seed trays to keep the rats from eating them, I have gotten them to a point now where they're about ready. They're just about 2 weeks old, and if you guys have grown corn, you know they don't like their roots messed with. So I needed to get them out of there pretty quickly. These guys are anywhere from 3 to 7 inches tall at this point. So hopefully the birds won't eat them, snatch them out and eat them, because where they're being planted is right around where I have the bird feeders, and there's a ton of them out here this morning. The bird feeders have been completely filled up, so they should not mess with these seedlings. Let's just see what happens with that, and hopefully the rats won't come around and chew them down to nothing now that they're here. Let me just show you what I have. Turn the camera around for you. All right, so I've got Bilicious, and you see these roots are very long on these guys, but they all came out pretty good. There were a couple that the roots had fused together and I had to kind of pull them apart. Hopefully they won't be too damaged. Now I had intended to put 12 of each corn in a container. I've got a few more than that, and I think for just good measure, I'm going to go ahead and put all of them in. So there's going to be anywhere from, I think the least is going to be 18. It's going to be 18 or 19 in each one, I think. Could be a little bit less. I'll see. This one, when I was seeding, I thought I grabbed 2 different corns. But then in the end, I looked at the packs, and there were 2 different packs of Bilicious. One was a 2019 pack and the other one was a 2025 pack. So I'm thinking that I'm going to have 2 containers of Bilicious. That is completely an accident. That is not what was supposed to happen. And all of the sunny days that I started, none of them came up. Those were a really old pack of seeds also. So I'm going to start some different ones, and I'm just going to wait probably until next weekend to do it, because this weekend is my anniversary and I'm not going to be doing any gardening. This tray is candy corn, and these all came out pretty nicely. You can see those roots on those guys there. Pretty nice. But those tap roots are what really don't want to be bothered with. So let's go ahead and get out here and start putting in some corn. I'm going to just I'll grab a Bilicious because they're laying down. And I'll take you guys out here and show you where they're going to go. Sorry, birdies. So I was doing a little work out here, cleaning up, reorganizing, getting some things situated. So you'll see 1 container there for corn, 1 there, and then this one here. So what I'm going to do is a Bilicious there. The stalks are different though. These stalks are red. So I don't know if it's just because it was a newer pack of seeds, because I don't recall ever growing Bilicious before. So I don't remember. I wouldn't know what the stalks are supposed to look like. Excuse me. Candy corn I'm going to put in the other container. Let me just grab it this way to balance the weight. in that bed, I seeded some zinnias, and it doesn't look like anybody dug them up overnight, so that bed as well. So maybe we'll have some zinnias soon. Over here, I dropped in some sunflowers. All right, let me just get these planted and then I'll show you guys when I'm done. All right, y'all, so I got my hands all dirty. Went ahead and got the corn all in, and let me just show you how I got it in. I think one has, what do we got? 17, one has 18, and one has 15, I think. We'll look at them. So, first container here is the one that I know for sure is Bilicious, and we got those all in. Already gotten drip run to this one. I just need to get a landscape staple to tack it down where it needs to be. And because, I mean, this is a pretty big container, and my drainage holes I actually drilled on the sides so that it will hold a little bit of water at the bottom to keep it from completely drying out. It'll work more like a self-watering container. But because corn is such a heavy feeder, I'm gonna have to stay on top of feeding because that is a lot of plants for such a small area. But I gotta work with what I have, and I don't have a whole lot of space for growing corn. And this next container, those are all planted up there. The Thryallis is hiding a couple of them, but they're there. And I need to run the drip there. My drip hose runs right along the side here, so I'll just grab some cord and run it up here to that container, as well as this container. Now, this is the one I'm the most worried about because, as you guys could see, the bird feeders that, I'm trying not to step on anything, I'm not done working over here. The bird feeders that the birds prefer are those two, and they are right there in the vicinity. There's also one here, but they don't really like this feeder very much. I think it sets them up to get picked on because it's so much brush there, they can't really see what's coming at them, but they do eventually eat the seed that's in there. And then I need to put another 2 suettes in there. They do eat those because they're up in the open. But I'll have to run drip to this one. Now, the nearest drip line, we've got one right over there, and then it also comes from here. So I could either run it this way and just put it under the mulch, or I can just pick it up from there. Because I planted sunflowers in this little section, I probably will just run it from over on the other side so that I don't have to disturb that, because I don't know exactly where the sunflowers are, and I don't want to lay the drip line on top of them and hinder them from coming up. So yeah, that's what we're doing for corn. It seems like I didn't water that one quite as much as the other two. The other two are pretty damp. So I'm gonna just go turn on the water and hit those guys with some water. But I'll just give these guys. Now this container was pretty moist. I'm just gonna hit it with a top layer of water, just so that those seedlings settle in a little bit. It's gonna get pretty hot out here soon. We're supposed to be in the 80s today. Just gonna water in my seeds that I put in. I want to make sure that they don't dry out. So we got zinnias here, we got zinnias behind me, and sunflowers on the other side. For some reason, when I direct sow zinnias, it's like a hit or miss. Some years I get all of them to germinate, and then some years it'll be like one or two of them will germinate. So we're taking a chance here, but there's an entire pack, 2 packs down here in this bed. So I should get something. And then the sunflowers, there are I think 8. While we're here, let's give a little bit of water to the tulip bed. You guys can see a couple of them have already come up. See if I can get my shadow out of the way. There are a couple of the tulips that have come up. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. But they're looking great so far. And there's quite a few more down here. I think 16 more that need to break the surface. And I'll show you, I put some paper whites in on the other side of the pole here, and those have come up. See if I can zoom in for you. The paper whites have all come up. Give them a little. I am excited. I can't wait to see what some of these things do, because I have quite a few new things that I've never grown out here, and I'm adding a lot more food crops. We've been in this house now almost 7 years, and the first year we were here I tried gardening the way I've been gardening for over 20 years, and I found that the environment here on the west coast of Florida is so much different than the east coast, and it's a little bit harder to grow things over here. The summers are more extreme and the winters are colder, so I had to kind of figure out how things work over here, and I'm thinking that this is going to be my year of major success with the food crops. I did grow a few things last year, and we did enjoy a few meals out of the garden, but I think this is going to be the year that we see some really, really good growth and improvement in the garden. Ornamentals, I've enjoyed every single year, but food crops have been a bit of a disappointment every year. I get mostly beans. I did get one bunch of grapes. The mulberries we have yet to get any, because when the tree starts to fruit, the birds start to eat the mulberries, so we don't ever get any of them. And I'm hoping that this will be the year we'll actually get some of that fruit. And now this year the challenge is fighting with the rats, of course. So I think we're working it out. I think we're gonna be okay. I got my fingers crossed. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun in your gardens. If you can get out in the garden, go ahead and do it. If it's still too cold, start planning for your garden. I will see you guys in another video. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Bye.